Good evening, everyone. My name is MightyStream, and I'm going to do your November the 14th Spiritual Principle a Day in a meditation. I'm brought to you by Hope Through Navigation, and this is our H.O.O.D Recovery Services. You may reach me at recoveryofhope21@gmail.com. Let me go ahead and share that screen so that you can follow along, if you will. Okay, the title of the meditation is Living Lives Worthy of Self-Respect. As we clean up our wreckage and live differently, we can respect our actions and find respect for ourselves in the process. Living Clean, Chapter 2, Connection to Ourselves. Many of the stories we tell about our active addiction depict us thriving on our lack of respectability. Who needs a real job, an education, a place to live, or even a bath? We scoffed at others' boundaries, the rule of law, authority, and institutions. We turned our backs on many of the values we were taught by our families, cultures, and society, hiding all our fears behind bravado. A lot of us paid a steep price. We jeopardized relationships and careers, if we had any. In many cases, we lost our freedom. Did we lose our self-respect too? Or did we just have none to start with? When we get clean, the rebel in us may be tempted to dismiss meeting etiquette as an attempt to make us conform. At some point, most of us notice that being a rebel in A doesn't have the payoff it did on the streets. We don't gain credibility by being disrespectful. I thought I was a badass, but came to find out that it was just a front to protect myself, one member shared. Once we start to listen in meetings, get to work on steps, and are of service, we find ourselves inspired to loosen our grip on our past lifestyles and the version of ourselves in the stories we tell. We want to move on from the past, and our willingness to understand it and grow from it increases. We take actions that build our lives and help other people. We set boundaries for ourselves and respect those held by others. Our dignity and self-respect are being restored, like our sanity. Perhaps for some of us, this is the first time we have experienced these feelings or this state of being in our lives. Not only do we change our actions, but many of us find we have to alter the stories we tell about ourselves. We focus less on being the product of our wreckage and more on being the product of our recovery. We learn that we are worthy of the lives we have now. We begin to live a life that reflects values we can be proud of. That's pretty respectable. And before recovery, who knew we'd ever want that? Today, I'll step back for a moment and look at the life I'm building with some pride and self-respect. It's working, and I'm worthy of it. Wow, what a beautiful meditation. Let's take a moment of silence, followed by the wee version of Serenity Prayer. Moment of silence now, please. God, grant us the serenity to accept the things we cannot change, the courage to change the things that we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Just for today, please and thank you. Now, that is a powerful meditation. Living lives worthy of self-respect. Who would have thought the individuals we are today in recovery would be respectable individuals, that we would want to be respectable compared to who we were when we first got here or before we even got clean. The thought of respectability was so far from us. For many of us, the only thing that we could really say that was on our mind when we got here, when we first got here, was how long? Come on, somebody, how long do I have to stay? How long do I have to stay clean? Like, how long is this going to last? You might have fresh in your mind the last time you tried to stop, and you're like, it's kind of shaky. I don't know, 50-50. It lasted a week. I'm at 9 days. No, seriously. When we first got here, many of us, maybe somewhere within us, we were like, I got to do this for my children. I got to do this for my family. I got to do this. I want to go to college. You may have had all of those dreams, but seriously, come on. The thought was, I need to stop using and I need to stay stopped if possible. But if I don't stay stopped, it won't be the first time. It won't be the first time that I stopped for just a short period of time and went back, right? Was it really on our mind that we needed to become respectable, productive members of our society or society at large? Was that really what we were thinking about? I mean, I can remember my very first meetings. I can remember being afraid that something or someone had been following me around because every time I heard someone share, it was like they were telling my story. And I was very uncomfortable with that. How could we have never met and we be so much alike? And you're laughing about the things that we have in common, but I'm still crying. Almost like a touch of emotion. I'm still crying about the things that you are laughing about. And these are the things that we have in common. At some point in time, they learn to take themselves less seriously. And they begin to, instead of just existing and surviving, like the Just for Today says, they begin to live. And here I'm in still survival mode and wanting to get to the point of living. But I've failed so many times at getting to that point that honestly, it was 50-50 at best that I would stay stopped. Check your own track record. Fortunately for me, I stopped and I stayed stopped 29 plus years. But it was not easy. And there have been many, 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 many things that have come my way. And I survived them. I got through them. I lived through them. I stayed clean through them. And quite honestly, the way that I came through them, today I look at them and I said, that was pretty good, girl. Now, how you did that one, definitely a God of your own understanding helped you through that. But that was pretty respectable compared to what you used to do. Oh my goodness. So I just want you today to take a step back for a moment and look at the life that you're building with some pride and self-respect. Look at how well you're doing and not how bad you're doing. Look at how well things are going. Look at the cup half full rather than half empty. Just, just take a moment to think about that. The decisions that you made today that were positive and not just beneficial for yourself, but for the people around you. And then compare it to another time when you would have had the opportunity to make the same decision and you chose not to show up. You chose to lie. You chose to steal. You chose to manipulate and take advantage of. You chose to take just so that you could get one more. You've got to be able to see the difference. you've got to be able to see just how respectable you are as an individual today, and that your lifestyle is starting to speak for itself. You don't have to speak for it because the results are making all the noise in the world to everyone that encounters you. Right? That's what they told me. Don't go around tooting your own horn. Let the results speak for you. And hopefully that's the life that you're living today. And if you drop the ball along the way, there's a step 10 to help you clean that up. Don't wallow in it. Admit that you were wrong. Figure out what led you to that. What was your trigger? Why'd you decide to do it that way instead of the other way, which would have been more respectable of yourself and others? And make a new commitment to do better the next time it comes up. My name is Mighty Stream, and this is a beautiful spiritual principle of self-respect. This meditation is amazing. Reread it. Give it a 5-star. Come back to it. Send it to your friends and tell them, you've got to listen to this. Today, November 14th, is amazing to think that I have a stepson that is 21 years old today. Amazing. Such a beautiful thing to be able to be a part of children's lives. My name is Mighty Stream. I've enjoyed talking to you today, and I'm going to have a beautiful day full of self-respect, one that is respectable and that values not only my life, but the life of others. You do the same. Have a beautiful day on purpose. I'll talk to you soon.